Hey everybody, I'm CJ, and my, how things change. Time was, the Mary Sue was, I would say it was pretty well established among the legions of Zack Snyder detractors, Zack Snyder haters, people who, for some reason, have a personal grudge against a man they probably have never met. I'm not going to say that the Mary Sue was necessarily leading the charge on that, but they got a little weird at times. So, anyway, as with so many other hack job websites, Zack Snyder could do no right in the collective eyes of the Mary Sue. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I at least never expected things to ever change. When you have a website that includes such snippets of Snyder love as the iconic comics were considered unadaptable. And then Zack Snyder made a movie version in 2009, which didn't really do anything to convince anyone they'd been wrong about that unadaptable thing. And this is in reference to the Watchmen film. You can find this on the Mary Sue. Referring to Johnny Depp's ex-wife's wigs in Aquaman, the Mary Sue writes, "None of these are good, and she deserved far better. I don't know if I've ever thought, let alone shared the words, Zack Snyder did it better, but what the hell happened to the Justice League wig?" Referring to the hashtag Release the Snyder Cut effort, the Mary Sue writes, "Some DCEU fans gathered in front of Warner Brothers headquarters to demand the, quote, Zack Snyder cut, unquote, of Justice League, which almost certainly doesn't exist." Referring to Batman v Superman, the Mary Sue writes, "Batman v Superman is iconic in its terribleness. It's the kind of awful that is both brave for sticking to an artistic vision that is definitely very tied to its creator, Zack Snyder, but also so telling of how male creators can just decide to make movies full of sound and fury, signifying nothing." And it just goes on and on and on. Those are a couple of examples that I found just at a glance. Needless to say, the various writers and editors of the Mary Sue just don't seem to have a whole lot of love for Zack Snyder. What a stunning and brave editorial position that must have been to take. So imagine my surprise when I popped open the Mary Sue to find a lot of basically positive posts related to Zack Snyder. There were puff pieces that were hyping up Army of the Dead. There was an editorial proudly crowing about how Snyder is apparently a Democrat after all, and it just goes on and on and on. But my personal favorite is a piece calling for the Snyder cut of Sucker Punch. Now, it seems like ancient history whenever you even talk about that movie today, but when Sucker Punch came out like 10 years ago or whatever it was, feminists had a field day with it. And it's like anything else to do with feminism. Consistency is nowhere to be found in the mix. You'd think that a work or a movie or a song or whatever, a TV show, whatever, is either objectively feminist or else it's objectively not. But it's like anything else. Feminists disagree about everything, up to and including how to make fucking Kool-Aid, and apparently about Sucker Punch. And back when Sucker Punch came out, the basic consensus is that the movie is bad because it is not feminist. That was their talking point at the time. The movie objectifies women, it trivializes women's mental health, fucking blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm not exactly old, but I'm not exactly young either. And I can dimly remember a time when it was impossible to buy a new pair of fucking socks without hearing the feminist opinion about it. And there was a time when this nonstop feminist commentary, it was inescapable. Then there came a time when it really died down. You just did not hear as much from the feminists as you used to. And the reason for that is because second wave feminists were the ones steering the ship. They don't they don't agree with each other on basically anything. So if they ever say for sure what the feminist position on something is, it's going to be pretty easy to come along and find somebody else who is also a feminist taking the opposite opinion. And there we have disagreement with each other. So there was a time, again, it's kind of hard to remember it now, but there was a time back in like the 2000s when it was still mostly second wave feminists who were steering the ship, that you just didn't hear quite as much about what the feminist position on this is or what the feminist position on that is. It just didn't really happen as much. And now you've got third wave feminists that are basically calling all of the shots. And it's like they didn't learn the lessons of second wave feminism, that you need to be real careful where you plant your flag, because there's going to be somebody out there who disagrees with you. And the minute you have two feminists that are contradicting each other, people's brains tend to short out. So you need to be real careful about that. Apparently the Mary Sue either never got the memo or they fucking lost it. I don't know. But how the turn tables? Because apparently, what is this writer's name? Geneva Kagawa. Forgive me, guys. I don't want to scroll all the way up to the top of the page here, because there's a word that YouTube may not want to be shown in this video, and I don't want to get slammed for a word that somebody else is using on their website. But Geneva Kagawa Darcy, if nobody else. She at least can't wait to see a Snyder cut of Sucker Punch. And apparently, one exists. Or can be made to exist. So that's good news, I guess. But just checking out this article, just scrolling around through it, this is insane. I mean, this is the same website that has spent like fucking years on end, basically nonstop dogging Snyder. And this is like a pretty abrupt about face. This is, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm the only one who's going to be shocked by this, but guys, when a website gets you going in a straight line like this, Snyder bad, Snyder bad, Snyder bad, Snyder's awesome, let's release the Snyder punch. It's going to come as a little bit of a surprise, at least to me. So anyway, I just wanted to throw all that out there and see what comes back to me. So, anyway, yeah, I guess that's that. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, comment, like, and share this video, because it really helps me out. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Loves Comics.